Hey guys! In today's vid, we're gonna be ranking every item from worst to best. Alright, the worst gadget in the game, by my opinion, is the Frisbee. This is because the Frisbee, while its only real use is for playing catch with, but as you can see in some of our other videos, like this one, the Frisbee can use to be ridden on like this, but it's just not really worth it, and there's like much better ways to move it. Alright, to the next one. The second worst gadget in the game is the decoy, the body decoy. This is because while this by itself isn't really tricking anyone, because they're very frozen in place, and if you get a moving one, it's normally moving like this and very robotically, so it's just not very useful, and it's really hard to trick someone with. Alright, next gadget. The next worst gadget in the game is the rose. While this can be used for like pulling someone towards you, it's just not really worth it, since you have to be farther away for it to be more effective, and it is normally harder to hit someone while you're farther away with it. But it can be used for fun, as seen in this video, which you should all go watch after this one, as well as the Frisbee riding videos if you want to learn more about that. But on to the next one. I'm gonna put down every item we're not including in this list. The placeable bombs, the microphones, and the paintbrushes. The next worst gadget in the game is the butt gel. This is because the real use for it is playing it, and while you can hit people with it, it's only a one-time use, and they cost 500 stuffing, so it's not really worth it. And there's just better options for it, like the bat. The next worst gadget in the game is the smoke bomb. This is because, while yes, you can hide in it, it doesn't do it for that long or that big, and it's also like, if you're a seeker, if they're like put in an open area like this, you can just watch, so that way you know they don't escape. But it's not really useful. The only real situation in which this would be useful in is if it's in like a one-way like entrance or exit point. Alright, on to the next one. The next worst gadget in the game is the sticky pillow bomb. This is because it creates these blocks, which can be used to like run away from someone, but it takes so long to explode. It's really expensive at 600, and they don't even last forever because they pop after a few minutes. So this just makes it not that great, and it's only one by one, and it doesn't even give you that much stuffing. Alright, next item. The next worst gadget is the pellet gun. This is because all it really is used for is destroying blocks. While yes, there are some tricks you can do with it, as double shooting or riding it like that, it's still really expensive to do, because every time you do the trick, double shotting costs double the amount of stuffing, and by shooting yourself it costs 400 stuffing after the buff of it going down from 500 stuffing to 300 stuffing. The next item is the snowball. This is because the snowball, it doesn't have that big of a radius. It's hard most of the time to hit people with it, and there's a better version of it, being the Klinger ice bomb. Next item is the voice decoy. This is because the voice decoy, it only tricks someone really once, because they can just pick it up and eat it, but it is pretty useful for getting seekers to the other side. But the second they realize you put voice decoy, they're gonna be more careful about where they hear your voice. Next item is actually the firework, if you believe it or not. This used to be one of, if not the best items in the game, but they really nerfed it heavily by making the cost where it used to be 500 to 800, and also you used to be able to just go wherever, but now they made it so if you're falling and then use it, it doesn't really work and it snaps. Be like that. And since it's still so expensive, coming at 800 stuffing, it takes 2 fireworks to get to the top of there, which is 1600 stuffing. That's just not worth doing when there's especially other better ways of doing it. Next item. Next item is the bat. I'm also counting the sword for this one since it's just a reskin bat. The bat, it's good for destroying blocks quickly, and it's good for hitting people away. But that's all it's really good for. And if you're like if you're being chased, you can't just turn around and hit them, otherwise they're going to tag you. Next item is the hot cocoa. The hot cocoa, its main use is for when you're frozen to drink it to get unfrozen, but players have figured out how to hot cocoa ride by doing it like that. But that's not really helpful because it doesn't, while it is cheap, there's other better ways of doing it. There's better ways of movement. This is cheap at only 200, but you need multiple to really get a distance, and it's really hard to go up with it. And from my experience, I found other better ways of movement, and I don't really use it that often. Next item is the umbrella. The umbrella's main use is to slow your fall so you can like move around and glide. But this is also, it's really easy to get tagged unless you're moving really fast. But you can't turn it that much, otherwise it will just disconnect. But it is really useful in playground map, especially because you can go from one building to the other back and forth really fast without getting caught if you have two. But if you only have one, it's not that useful. Next item is the sticky explosive bomb. This is because it's 600 stuffing, which is really expensive, and it's only better than the impulse bomb. The only reason why you would use this over the impulse bomb is either you don't own it, or you're trying to destroy blocks. But if you're just using it for movement, just use this one, it's way better. Next item is the sticky freeze bomb. The reason why this is so high up on the list is because it's just the best way of freezing players, which freezing players is a really good way of either getting away or getting someone. Because if you freeze someone, then they can't move. And then if you freeze, so they can't move, so you can either catch up to them or get farther away from them. And the sticky freeze bomb is the same cost as this one, and it has a larger radius. See, that would give me, well, that one's like, this is like half the radius of the sticky one, and it sticks to people too, so if you hit someone, it's a guaranteed freeze, essentially, because it has a fast explosive time, so if you get hit with it, you don't really have time to pick it up. Alright, coming in third place is the sticky impulse bomb. This is because this bomb, it is the best bomb in the game. There's no reason why you should use any other bomb unless you're trying to freeze someone, and that's about it. This bomb is the best way for movement because you can clinger ride with it. it's cheap at only 300 stuffing, and you can get really high with it by doing 3. And it's just one of the best movement options in the game. Coming in second place is, drumroll please, the grappling hook. You might be like, what? How is that not number 1? Also, I don't have sleds. I'm just doing the ones that I own, and I don't own sleds. So you can tell me whatever ones I forgot to mention in the comments, and then might make a part 2 if enough people watch this one and like it. Alright, so this is number 2 because I'm gonna give a reason on why. So you see, when you're grappling, these cost 300 to pull out and 200 every time you use it. So this is 200, 200, 200, 200 stuffing, 200 stuffing, 200, 200, 200. See, like, and you can quickly run out. Like, it's the quickest way to run out stuffing just by going like this. And I'm already out. The only maps that this is really like the best gadget in is in hangout mode maps, because they have maps with these. If they have this in it, then you use these, because these are the best gadget in maps with stuffing generators. Because the only reason why this is number 2, not number 1, is because it uses so much stuffing. And let's go to number 1. Hello, Yeeps. I would like to say that I think the number 1 best gadget in the game is the Telepearl. The reason why this is number 1 is because there's so many ways to use this, and it's... Alright, so the main way you use it is throw it to teleport, which is absolutely insane, because you can just be like this and having like, oh hey, yeah, boom, you don't know where I went. And then you can also set up a stasis chamber with one of these, pop a telepearl on it, set it off, and then boom, you don't know where I went, because it could have been anywhere. The only way you know is from the sound of the bomb, or whatever. And you can chuck this thing super far. And like, if the secret was right there, now he has to come all the way over here. And then I can just go all the way back up here, and then boom. It's so good for getting away that there's like no other reason to not use it if you're trying to get away and you have the stuffing for it. And it's not even that expensive, at only 500 stuffing. And this is... Sorry. This is... And it's just so useful, like you can just boom, boom. Like, you can teleport so freely. And if you run out of stuffing, if you have like 300, you can just clinger ride with the impulse clinger and get really far momentum. And it just pairs well with like almost every gadget in the game. So this is why I think the Telepearl is the best gadget in the game. I'm a doofus. I just record the outro without recording the outro. Alright guys, that's for me ranking all the gadgets. If you want a part 2, or if you like this, please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 50 so we can start live streaming, which I think you'll want. But that's all. Comment any gadgets or ones you want us to do if we do a part 2. But me and Gerald, we'll see you in the next video.